Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. It's 7:47 a.m. in London time. I'm gonna do a very quick update. We have seen some developments. I didn't put a video yesterday, Sunday, so we have to catch up today and see what happened over the weekend. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame. Good news, because even though we didn't touch the CPR resistance, the CPR is a level that lasts for the full month. This is a resistance. These are the pivots, and every month that we touch the first resistance, it forecasts for the next month that there is some coming upside, and that's why we care about that. And you can see that initially we made a touch in here, but it wasn't an actual touch. We ended up being $30 away, although some people claim that on futures, on Bybit, that was an actual touch by the dollar. Now there is no doubt, because after another bull flag, we have hit the CPR, and that means that at least the CPR model for the month of October is happy. You can tell here that in September we couldn't manage to do that. That resistance acted like a resistance. We didn't touch it, and we came down roughly 11%. So could it be now that we're gonna go down? Does this mean that we're just gonna go to the next resistance, which is located at 74.7? Nothing is guaranteed in trading, I'm sorry, but we could still see a rejection from here. All that we can say is that the odds that we continue higher have now increased from the point of view of this model. So just take it for what it is. We can see that below the price we have some order blocks in here. Let's look at the 4-hour RSI. After we have this breakout, that was very short-lived, followed by a bearish divergence. It's no news that we have been seeing loads of bearish divergences in this area, this one in there. And then after that breakout, if we connect it with the bearish divergence that was formed there, we have another breakout at 10 a.m. yesterday on Sunday. Unfortunately, I was celebrating my daughter's birthday, so I wasn't paying much attention to really the charts. But we got a breakout on Sunday morning. We came here for a retest. Guys, I really encourage you to go to the Trading Parrot main channel page on YouTube, navigate to playlists, and spend the rest of the month watching the free tutorials that I have put for you guys. There's already 8 videos, 2 covering all the secrets about RSI, covering CPR as well. That is your path to mastering these tools as well. So one thing that is very important now to understand is that we have done 2 breakouts in a row on the 4-hour, and we have done this without having come back all the way to the bottom of the RSI. Here is 25. Here is where the statistics are saying it's the lower end, and we have not even touched the median. The median is at 57. You can tell that typically RSI swings from one end to another, and only when things are getting very bullish, we stick to the top end right above the median, which is what we are doing now. But during this week, there can be 2 things that happen next. Things turn extremely bullish, and we just enter a short squeeze into the top end, and we finally consume everything, or we break down from this ascending wedge and we take some of the open interest that has been accumulating in the market. You can see that we are in uncharted territory with closing candles for the open interest. This is something that we were forecasting since we went in 15 billion. Once again, we say that the typical behavior in here is to go to the top end once again. And if we get lucky, and that is the breakout of Bitcoin, we're going to start going into price discovery and into open interest discovery, which is where we are now. Do I know that this is just going to come back here into the 21 billion and test once again and then continue higher? Or is this going to come back down and use the 19 billion as a support? Impossible to tell. Even in this area in here, when you enter open interest discovery, you can tell that sometimes there is some movements that take you back into the previous range when it comes to the open interest, and only when you get very impulsive moves, you say goodbye to that area and you don't come back again, maybe at least until we enter a bear market, which is what happened in here. We started pushing very high and we came back to this area that was only seen in 2021. So sure, we could come back down to 10 billion eventually. Withdrawals versus deposits from big whales are still in an area of heavy accumulation, 0.38, which is really weird to see now another small low from the long-term holders. this discrepancy between big whales withdrawing and long-term holders slightly selling. I wonder if they are flipping now into Ethereum and altcoins. Impossible to tell, maybe it's the case, but I'm very excited about seeing the megaphone pattern finally putting a close above this trend line, and now in the process of testing the trend line, which is located roughly at 67.9. So holding that in a weekly basis and hopefully closing in a green candle is gonna fully complete the forecast that we put many months ago. Yeah, sure, with slight adjustments that we did, but go into my videos of July and August and you're gonna see a very similar picture when it comes to the forecast. We just closed the weekly candle, so I have to pay due respect and do an update on that. You can tell that the keys that happened in here for the stochastic RSI wasn't a bearish cross. We just closed the week with the mouth slightly open, which is great, and in the few hours of Monday we are opening the mouth slightly bigger at the moment. So let's move that there, and we can see that we put a higher high on the RSI weekly. That is phenomenal. That is all thanks to this candle, which is a candle of almost 11%. Awesome. Responsible as well for breaking the resistance of the megaphone pattern. Come on, we couldn't do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and now we have done it. What we need to be careful here is if there is any bearish news and this turns into a liquidity hunt. That is low likely at the moment, but it can still happen. The pattern accepts a liquidity hunt if you stay here for 1, maybe maximum 2 candles in there, and then you immediately enter with a bearish candle like this. Even if you hold the bull market support band, that could spell a little bit of too much fear for my test into investors. I still have dry powder if there was some sort of black swan event and we came back into this range in here. That will be horrible for longs. It will take out all the open interest, but potentially that could also become a spring and go higher. So I still have cash, which at the moment I'm using for trading with bots, but if we go there, boom, I give it to BTC and I ride the way up. Notice as well that the bull market support is in the process of printing a bullish cross on the weekly. The last time that we did that was confirming this move of 200%. So not really something small. Let's look a little bit more in detail into the pulls, and then later I'm gonna give you an update on what's going on with the selling wall, and stay tuned as well this afternoon for another update. You can see that in the daily time frame on Trading Different, there's still no longs with liquidity pools in here that look very substantial, although I'm getting a little bit worried about this breakdown on this ascending wedge. We're gonna look in a few minutes, in just a few seconds, into the scalping chart to see if there is some big motivation in here causing this sell now at 68.6. Not that big, but it's outside the ascending wedge, so we need to look into that. Why is the price coming down in here? Let's see what do we have below the price, and we have some liquidations at 66k. Those are the bigger ones. For a very bullish tip into the liquidity, price could go to 67.4. For a more bearish, into 66. Of course, going into 66 means making this whole thing look like a liquidity hunt, so we need to be careful with that. On the RSI channel, I remind you that we managed to get to 72, so my hypothesis of hitting that level has been partially fulfilled. Why am I saying partially? Because if we look at this, the RSI 72 has moved slightly up, but this morning when I opened the chart, the forecast of RSI 72 was sitting right at 69.6. It's a candle alive, and the lower the price go, the RSI forecast is gonna go higher as well. But when I started the video, unfortunately I didn't take a screenshot to prove it, but we kissed the RSI 72, and as the price came down, both price and RSI started spreading away. At the moment, RSI 72 is sitting at 70k, which is the top of the range on the volume profile for the past 6 months. I think it will be nice to see another bullish flag in here with a push up, similar to what we did precisely in the 4 hour. We had this ascending wedge, bull flag, and then a higher high going into the CPR monthly. On the 4 hour, for this sellout, if this kisses that, and bounces off, that will be also another bullish scenario. Breaking below this line in there and below the median could spell some bad news for the movement up. I haven't looked into the general markets, how things are pre-market and all that stuff. I really need to go now. I'll give you another more in-depth video later today, maybe one at midday, but now I need to take my daughter to the nursery. Remember to have a look at Bluefin, my exchange of preference at the moment. 5 minutes to open an account, 10,000 in bonus, no KYC, leverage, all coins, everything. I have two accounts at the moment. If you want to support the channel, have a look at the description down below. That's where you're gonna find the best bonuses I managed to negotiate with all my favorite companies in crypto and the best fees discounts as well. See you on the next one. Bye bye.